Welcome everybody to our Greene Acres. Today's video, I'm going to show y'all a couple of ways of how we can decorate a fall tree. We're going to just take a Christmas tree or whatever kind of tree you would like to just fill it full of some beautiful fall decor and just cozy up your home for the fall season. Who doesn't love to go on and put their Christmas tree up early? It's just a great excuse. This is one that I have decorated in the past, and I went with a farmhouse look and just decorated it with a lot of decor that I already had on hand. But this time I'm going to go in a totally different route. I'm going to use a white Christmas tree that I usually put up around Christmas time, but I'm going to assemble it, I'm going to put it up, and I'm going to show you how I decorate it and use it for the fall season. This is the tree that I'm going to decorate in both our homes. We have a secondary home, so I'm going to put a tree at each of our homes just so we can enjoy it when the days get shorter and we have, darkness more. We can have some kind of ambiance and lighting. This Christmas tree right here is absolutely beautiful. I got this at Walmart. I loved it so much that I got it for our other home as well. You just, get your Christmas tree out, whatever kind of tree you have. And I have decorated, like I showed y'all, a flock tree as well. So any tree that you love, it will work. But these are the white ones, and I will try to link these down below if you love this type of a tree. It's very easy to assemble. It's pre-lit, and it comes in 3 sections. And of course, with any kind of Christmas tree, once it's been in the box and it's been stored away for months, you just want to get it out and put it up in sections and fluff each section as you go, and it doesn't take very long at all. Now we've got a beautiful blank canvas that we can add some beautiful fall decor to. I'm taking some cute little Sherpa pumpkin picks that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and all of this decor was 40% off the day I went. I just twisted the stems together, and I'm just going to go in and start decorating and arranging things in places that I feel like the tree needs some decoration. These I picked up at Walmart. These were 97 cents. And I'm going to show y'all a few that I got at Walmart, and they were 97 cents. So that is a great deal. This right here has some like lamb's ear leaves on it with the little white pumpkins and a little bit of a boho type feather. Absolutely love these. So I just go in. I'm just going to stick these in the stems. And like I say, depending on what kind of tree you have, somewhere where you may have a hole or you just want to cover up a wire or something, that may be where you want to place, your decor. This one right here is absolutely beautiful. So to add some color to the tree, I picked up some of these, and I'm going to start adding these in throughout the tree. And another great thing about going ahead and putting your Christmas tree up and using it for fall decoration is when Christmas time rolls around, we've already got our tree up. You can also leave this beautiful decorated tree up through Thanksgiving. Here's some more decorative things that I found. These come from Dollar General, only $1. So I picked up a few of these little pumpkins. These suede baubles right here, I got these at Hobby Lobby, and I got a pack of 6. I picked up several packages of these. They were very inexpensive. And then I just took some pipe cleaners and I just connected 2 of them together and stuck them inside the tree. Now I'm just adding different colors to my tree, but you can always add whatever colors and whatever decorations you may have on hand. This was an inexpensive garland I picked up at Walmart. It was less than $6. I grabbed a couple of these. I thought I could cut this up, and where I have holes in the tree or somewhere where I may need some more color or some texture, I can just go in and add sprigs of this. And that's what I'm going to do. Just cut it up and just, make your own pieces, and you get a lot of pieces of this out of, 2 sections of garland. So I'm just going to go in very budget friendly way to, instead of buying individual stems, just find some inexpensive garland and cut it up, and it'll make great filler pieces for your tree. So I hope this will inspire you to go and get one of your Christmas trees out and decorate it for the fall and the Thanksgiving season. I had so much fun decorating this one, and I can't wait to show y'all the next one that I decorate. And I'm going to put some DIY projects on it. So stay tuned, stay on the video, because I'm going to show you how, if you don't want to go out and buy decor, extra decor, I'm going to show you how we can make some ourselves at home and get creative and have fun with it. So I just go in with some more of those little Dollar General pumpkins. And like I say, I just picked up inexpensive decor, just places where I found it at good deals. I love this little acorn stem. That was also a Walmart find, and they were 97 cents. So make sure to check your Dollar Generals, your Dollar Tree, your Walmart, and just pick up things that are budget friendly. I just put a drop cloth skirt around mine. I had a piece of drop cloth and I just draped it around the bottom, and I added some pumpkins for decor. Now I'm going to sit back and let y'all enjoy the beautiful tree that I created, and this didn't take me very long to do at all, and I had so much fun decorating it. And look at the lights. And I know, like I say, when the days get shorter and it gets darker earlier, we can turn on these lights on this tree and it's going to be absolutely beautiful, and I know I'm going to enjoy looking at it. Now let's decorate the tree at our main house. Now this tree always goes over in the corner of our family room, so I've got it set up, and I wanted to get started by, I've got some velvet ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I thought I would tie some of this on these ornaments, tie the ornaments onto the tree, maybe tie them in a bow, just to add a little bit of texture and color. So I was going to coordinate my colors. I took this beautiful burnt orange suede bauble that I put on the other tree. I'm going to put some on this tree as well. So I started out with a different plan, and then I had to sleep on it overnight because I didn't know if this tree was going to get decorated or not. The vision just would not. I just couldn't get it going like I wanted it to. So sometimes when you can't get a project going, just kind of step away from it, sleep on it, and I guarantee the next day you'll have a whole new perspective and it will all come together. And the next morning I went back at it. I took everything off the tree, I made it blank again, and I started over. I took this pallet wood frame that I got at a thrift store, and it had a wire hanger. I took the wire hanger off and I just put a piece of velvet ribbon in for the hanger. Then I got a beautiful graphic off of Etsy and just downloaded it. I cut it down to size and I put it on this little piece of pallet wood. Now this right here was the focal point for the whole tree. I really worked off the colors that was in this graphic. Once I got this, nestled into the branches, I just got a strong branch and just kind of nestled it in. Then I just went from there, adding and pulling out those beautiful colors. So once I got the theme for the tree and I got unstuck and got creative, now I want to show you how we can make some DIY ornaments. Just take some, I've got some pumpkin molds, and I'm going to link these down below where you can get these. But I'm going to take some casting resin. Casting resin is absolutely awesome. It's actually better to me than air dry clay because it doesn't crack. You get a really good casting each time, but it's just equal parts of each bottle. You pour it into a little bowl and you stir it for a couple of minutes. You get it dissolved really well, and then you want to pour it. Now this will start to set up really quick. So make sure if you have some extra, you can pour it. You have some extra molds on hand and just keep pouring it and make up some for future projects. But I wanted to capture this beautiful pumpkin, and I'm going to make a couple of these. This pumpkin mold right here has 2 sizes of pumpkins, and it also has some beautiful fall leaves. Another reason I like this casting resin is you can tell when it dries, because when it is completely dry, it turns solid white. At that point, you can pull it out, and then you can remove any excess that maybe have run over the edges and just trim it up really good. Most of the time, you can just pull this off with your fingers. But now I've got some beautiful leaves that I can use on something else, and I've got some beautiful pumpkins. Now, these pumpkin molds right here have some absolutely beautiful detail on them, so you could definitely get creative with them. And these are good projects if you've got wax, because these little details will really pick up the wax and show up really well. So I'm not going to use the leaves, but I am going to show you how we can make some really pretty pumpkin ornaments for our tree. Now you can start to paint your pumpkins, and you can paint them whatever color you want. These make great ornaments, so if you need to pull out the colors that you have on your tree and just add to them, that's what I did. I went with a lot of neutrals on my tree, so I went with some neutral pumpkins. But this one I painted with is called Faded Burlap, and this is by DIY Paint. And then once it dried, I gave it a couple layers, and once it dried, I went over it with a sponge with some white wax. Now you could also use dark wax if you wanted to. You could use glaze. You could also go in and paint your leaves if you wanted to do that. You could paint the stem. You could get some rub and buff if you like the gold and put some gold texture to it. You could also do that. So many different options for these little pumpkin ornaments. Now for my next one, I'm going to mix some really inexpensive Walmart craft paints that I have. I'm trying to get a color of some of the ribbon that I have on my fall tree. And I'm just taking some paints that I have. These are probably like little 50-cent craft paints from Walmart. And I just keep mixing some colors just to try to get that color that was on that ribbon. I got close, but I just mixed it until I felt like I got something, that would fit well on my tree. And then I'm just going to go over again, give it a couple of layers. Now I mixed up too much paint, so just don't waste it. If you mix up extra paint, get a little jar and, with an airtight lid, and just store your paint you mixed up. Now look at this beautiful color. And like I say, this is just something that I made up and I mixed up on my own. And again, you could go with dark wax here, but I'm going to stick with my white wax. Wipe it away, and then like I say, if you need to apply more white wax, just go in and apply more. Just keep working it until you get it the way you want it. Now I'm going to show you how to take some little blanks that I got at Dollar General, and they were $1. So I'm going to take these blanks and I'm going to remove the paper. The paper worked off really well. I just dampened it. Some of it I removed with my fingers, and then some of it I removed with my razor blade. Now I just kept working with the paper, and in some sections you could just rub it off with your fingers and just pull it off. And in other places, just keep dampening it with your cloth, and the more you loosen it with that water and it gets moist, that glue will loosen up and the paper will come off. So once I got most of the paper off, I just went around it and cleaned it off really good and got all that excess paper off. And then I got a dry rag. I went around and I just dried it off really well. Now I bought 2 of these little blanks. So I'm going to show you 2 ornaments that I'm going to make and how easy they are. Look what pretty blanks they are. Now, see, we've got just a fresh canvas that we can add whatever you have on hand to. You could put stamps on this, molds, transfers. I had these transfers left over from the IOD fall release from last year, these little fairies. So I'm just using some things that I already have on hand. But like I say, you can add just about anything that you may have in your supplies. So I'm going to apply this little beautiful fairy to this one, and it did work off on the sides, the excess transfer paper, and I'm going to show you how I removed it. I just took the backing sheet, I put it up behind that transfer because that transfer is sticky on the back, and anything it sticks to, it's going to adhere to. So a lot of times you really don't even want to get this on your fingers. But I just took that little white backing sheet, and that worked it off the easiest for me. Now once I got that worked off, then I'll go around with my little finger sander and I'll go around the edges of the circle and just smooth down that transfer really well. And you can also go around the transfer and you can also give it a rustic look. You can kind of sand it down and give it some distressing. I did the same process to the second one because I had several of these transfers left over. I think these fit beautifully in these circles on these little Dollar General blanks. So sometimes when you see things out at the dollar store and they're only $1, they make great project pieces. Now I'm going to show y'all how we can make our own pumpkins. This right here was just a legging type sock. And I'm showing you how easy it is that you can just recover your pumpkins each year. And they usually have those little weights. You saw that little cement round that was in the bottom. You can easily remove that and insert it and put it back. And that way, that will give your pumpkin some weight on the bottom. But I just went around and you just, just tuck it down into that hole in the top of your pumpkin and work your fabric down in there as tight as you want to. And then I'll show you some options for some stems in just a minute. Now this is some thrifted pants that I got, and it's some beautiful velvet. So I'm just going to take this piece of velvet and I'm going to cut it into a circle the best I can. Because when you're working with a pumpkin, a lot of times I feel like if you do a circle pattern of fabric, that fits better to work around your pumpkin. And you can see how I'm going around and rotating the pumpkin each time, just tucking that fabric into that hole in the top of the pumpkin. And once you get it tucked around into the pumpkin, you go all the way around, you can always go back and kind of pull it tighter in certain areas and kind of work your gathers to where your fabric is evenly dispersed around the whole pumpkin. Now this right here turned out really pretty, and I know velvet pumpkins this year are so popular. But they are so easy to make them at home. So make sure to look while you're still going to yard sales and at the thrift store and try to find some pretty velvet fabric. You could also pick some up probably at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. Now this was a little kid's Sherpa jacket. I just cut the sleeve off of it. I thought it was a beautiful fall color. So again, I'm just using a little kid's jacket that I got very inexpensive at a yard sale. This is just the sleeve of it. I'm just working it into the top and the bottom of the pumpkin. You pull it tight, and this will make a beautiful pumpkin too. There's that little weight round. I'll just put it back into the bottom so my pumpkin will stand up and it'll have some weight to support itself. Now here's a pumpkin that may not have a hole in the bottom. It's got one in the top, but it's so easy to make one in the bottom too. So I'm just taking a screwdriver and you just work around and make the hole as large as you need to. Now some of this stuff can get kind of staticky and kind of messy. So you may want to put something down on your work area to catch some of that stuff that's in the pumpkin. But I'm just taking a sleeve off of a thrifted sweater. This is more like a popcorn style texture, and I thought it would make a pretty material for a pumpkin. So sleeves off of clothes work great. So I'm just going to work it around my pumpkin, and I'm going to tuck it in the top, and then you'll also see me tuck it in the bottom. And like I say, you just want to work your way around the pumpkin. These are so easy to make and go so fast. Cut off any excess fabric that you have and then just tuck it into the hole. And like I say, if you need to get a screwdriver and try to work that down in there, that's what I use. And you can just make these up, and then once you get them all made up, I made different sizes in different shapes. These are so much fun to make. And you can also make some leaves. You can cut out some leaves, the shape of leaves out of the same fabric, or when you see it styled, I actually put use some lace. So I made some leaves out of some lace, and just make your leaf shape and put it, form it around the top, and just embellish your pumpkins any way you want to. You could add twine or raffia, pretty much the sky's the limit on this. Now for my pumpkin stems, I've told y'all, you can use dried okra stems. You can save the pumpkin stems from the previous year. Let them dry, put them in a bag, and save them. And that's what I did. I took my pumpkins that I had last year, and once I was finished using my real pumpkins, I saved the stems. Now look what beautiful stems these make for these little DIY pumpkins that we made. This beautiful little velvet one, I had the perfect pumpkin stem for it. And like I say, this come off of a real pumpkin from last year. So this year, make sure to save your pumpkin stems and let them dry and save them till next year. And you're going to have some beautiful embellishments for your DIY pumpkins for next year. Now I'm going to show you a thrifted piece. This I found at Goodwill, and this was some kind of like a wine wood crate. It was only $6.99, and it's very large in size, but I thought this would make a great vessel for my pumpkins, and I can style this up under my fall tree. I'm going to take some golden oak stain, and I'm going to stain it. You could also paint it if you wanted to, but I thought I really wanted to enrich that wood color. It was a light color to begin with, but I thought it just needs a little bit of some beautiful stain on it. So I just took a rag, I went around all the sides and the front and the back, and I went around and stained it really well. And I also did the inside of the crate as well. I really love the color of this stain, and I think my box turned out beautiful. Now, once I brought it in, I decided I wanted to add some feet to it. And I'm going to go with the same color as the crate. I took these little finial feet. I get these at Lowe's, and you get 2 of these to a pack. I took 4 of them, and I stained them the same color as I did the crate. Now I'm just taking some hot glue, but you could also use some wood glue. I did remove the screws because there really wasn't anything to screw to in this wood crate since it was hollowed out. I just added some grocery bags just to give it some lift, and then I'm going to add just a piece of burlap sack. And a lot of times if you wash burlap, it'll give it a really pretty rustic look. It'll really make it flow really good. And I just laid it in there, and then I put all my beautiful pumpkins that I just made in it. So just another budget-friendly way to add another great detail to your fall tree. Another idea for a tree skirt is I just took some coffee bean bags. Now, actually, I washed these also, and I just made a beautiful tree skirt out of these. You could also get a beautiful wicker type tree collar. I think that would be beautiful for fall also. So just giving you more ideas of how you can style the bottom of your tree. Since it's a little bit too early for the fur tree skirt like I have that I'll put out for winter, I thought the burlap was perfect for fall.